a dark, suffocating storage room made entirely of concrete. Inside it, a famous actress is trapped, fighting for her life. Outside, men who have lost all reason begin doing things beyond imagination, and she desperately tries to escape. So what exactly happened to her? From this moment on, we begin the shocking story of what this actress endured. Lauren was still very young when she happened to audition for a child acting role. She passed, and from that day forward, her life changed completely. She did not simply remain a child actress. She went on to make her name across films and television dramas, growing into a beloved national star cherished by almost everyone. For years, she lived a dazzling life filled with wealth, fame, and admiration. But then, her phone was hacked, and the world discovered that she was pregnant. It was an enormous scandal. Reporters gathered outside her home, turning the entire area into chaos. So Lauren left for a secluded luxury villa deep in nature, a place arranged by her manager, hoping to clear her head. Her agency demanded that she release a false statement, but Lauren had no intention of throwing a colleague under the bus. She even called her mother, the one person she thought she could lean on. But what came back was not comfort. Her mother told her that she was embarrassed in front of her friends. For Lauren, already overwhelmed by the pregnancy and the scandal, those words cut even deeper. And so Lauren arrives at the remote, enormous luxury villa with her dog, George. The interior has clearly been maintained with great care. It is spacious, quiet, almost dreamlike. For someone trying to escape the noise inside her head, it is exactly the kind of place she needs. But as Lauren begins looking around the house, a camera hidden in the corner is watching her. The man watching Lauren immediately recognizes her, and from that moment on, he begins spying on her private life. At the same time, as Lauren tries to settle her thoughts, she begins thinking back on everything that led her here. The reason Lauren became pregnant and the father of the child was someone she met on the very TV show that made her a star. It was a show loved across the country, and he too was a national star. His name was Peter. On the show, he had played her father. After filming ended, Lauren and Peter continued meeting in secret, and as a result, she became pregnant. The problem was, Lauren wanted to have the child. Peter did not. Peter kept calling her again and again, pressuring her to get an abortion. He seemed far more concerned about money than about the psychological torment Lauren was going through. And he was also afraid that she might turn the situation into a Me Too scandal. Peter was with a private investigator, and after seeing Peter's rage, the investigator makes him a deeply disturbing proposal. He suggests taking advantage of Lauren's fragile mental state and pushing her into a spiral of drugs and alcohol until she disappears from public life forever. Meanwhile, as Lauren is trying to clear her head at the villa, the mysterious man watching her is living a ruined life with two other men. Their names are Darren, Marcus, and Mug. All three of them have spent their lives drifting in and out of prison, selling drugs and surviving through petty crime. As they begin talking once again about how to make money, the subject of the villa Marcus is responsible for comes up. But strangely, Marcus hides the fact that Lauren is staying there. That evening, while Marcus is asleep, Darren secretly looks through his phone. With years of criminal experience behind him, Darren has developed a sharp instinct for lies, and he realizes that Marcus is hiding something. Darren discovers that Lauren is at the villa. He wakes the sleeping Mug, leaves Marcus behind, and heads straight for the villa where Lauren is staying. When Marcus wakes up, he quickly realizes what has happened and chases after them. A short while later, as Darren and Mug attempt to break into the villa, Lauren's dog, George, hears an unfamiliar noise and goes downstairs. But the intruders kick him. Injured in the leg, George manages to flee from the villa. Realizing something is wrong, Lauren opens the heavy storage room door built into the bedroom wall and hides inside. Meanwhile, Darren and Mug begin stealing Lauren's expensive belongings. Marcus, who has followed them there, finally admits that the person staying in the villa is Lauren, the famous actress. He warns them that because she is a celebrity, they cannot touch her. But Mug is armed, agitated, and completely out of control. A struggle breaks out between them, and in the chaos, the trigger is pulled by mistake. Marcus is shot.
Please, Uncle Darren, help me.
All right, kid.
Please, Uncle Darren, help me. I don't want to die, please.
Fearing that the situation has spiraled beyond repair, Darren and Mug make the worst possible choice. In a rage, Darren tries to force open the steel door, but the handle breaks and the thick door becomes impossible to open. For Lauren, that is fortunate, but the narrow concrete storage room she is trapped inside has no way out. Once Darren and Mug confirm that the door will not open, they return home to collect cleaning supplies and destroy the evidence. Lauren uses that brief moment to try opening the door herself, but the heavy door does not move at all. She begins scraping at the old wallpaper around her, but behind it is nothing but solid concrete.
There's gotta be a way. No! No!
Some time passes, and Darren and Mug return. Lauren pleads with them. She tells them she will never say a word. She even says that, if necessary, she will give false testimony for them. She begs them to spare her life, but they refuse to listen. Instead, Mug becomes even more hysterical and fires at the steel door. One bullet hits Darren in the shoulder, another strikes Mug himself in the head. And just like that, Mug is dead too. Bleeding heavily, Darren abandons everything for the moment and drives to the hospital alone. Eventually, overwhelmed by fear and exhaustion, Lauren collapses inside the room. Meanwhile, Darren reaches the hospital and receives emergency treatment. But after the hospital reports him, the police begin questioning him. At that moment, Lauren manages to tear loose an old, thin pipe. She begins striking the room with it again and again until she notices water dripping from the old pipes above. While Lauren fights desperately to survive, a woman named Loretta is on her way to work. Driving along the road, she discovers George. She takes him to a veterinary clinic. She pays for his treatment herself, then uploads photos of George and his ID tag to social media, and the internet explodes. Lauren had posted many pictures of George before, so her fans immediately recognize him as her dog. And among the people who see that post is the private investigator hired by Peter. Then, inside the storage room, the pipe bursts. Water begins pouring into the room. The problem is that the water is rising far faster than it can drain through the gaps. As the room begins filling up, the danger becomes even greater. At the same time, Darren wakes up at the hospital. He calls over a young doctor he had been watching closely and lies, saying he needs to use the bathroom. Then he attacks him, steals his doctor's coat, and hijacks the vehicle of an emergency patient who is about to give birth, driving back toward the villa. Loretta, too, is heading toward the house with George. After avoiding a call from a suspicious man, she notices George suddenly crying in distress. At first, she thinks he simply needs to relieve himself, but George jumps out of the car and runs into the forest. Loretta follows him, and eventually, she discovers the villa where Lauren is trapped. There, she comes face to face with Darren, and even the private investigator who has been following her. The investigator immediately shoots Darren in the head. At the same time, the police begin pursuing Darren as well. After killing Darren, the investigator takes Loretta into the house. Standing in front of the room where water is leaking out, he prepares to eliminate both her and Lauren. But the storage room door, now holding back an enormous amount of water, can no longer withstand the pressure. It breaks free completely and slams into the investigator. When he regains consciousness, he once again tries to kill Lauren. But Lauren knows the structure of the house. She hides in the darkness, and after a desperate fight for her life, she manages to destroy him completely. Then she realizes the truth. Peter was the one who hired him. At that moment, the police storm in, and Lauren is finally rescued. Peter, who ordered the investigator to carry out the plan, is also arrested on the set of his drama. And Lauren posts a short message on social media, confirming that she is, in fact, pregnant. The film ends by showing her face as she begins a new life.